Another edition of Dad Bod Golf Pod. Trust me, that will pick up right where you think it will, Kyle. I saw the red light come on.
Okay.
He's Kyle Rush. I'm Ben Taylor. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Post players. We didn't even have it on the docket to even talk about the social media guys and the YouTube golfers that were going to be that played the 8 holes. And I will say the funniest thing that came about that was the record still holds true that 62 on 8 holes beats Justin Thomas's 61 on 18. if you're using the Stapleton scoring system anyway, so we shall see. So players this weekend. It honestly became about Rory, and I think that's not just the fact that he won, but he had some interaction with a Texas collegiate golfer as well, and then. I did not get a chance to watch it because as Kyle mentioned last episode, I work mornings. Kyle works afternoons. Kyle watched the conclusion of the round, and all I get is a text go, "Well, that was quick," and I was like, "Oh," so I hadn't even had a chance to see the highlights yet. And then we find out what all takes place. So Rory does win. This is one that kind of evaded him for the longest time. So. I don't know. Is Scotty Scheffler at his full potential? Did Rory really beat the best field in the world this time around?
Well, that leaderboard was tough.
Yeah. I mean, conditions were tough. So, I mean, I guess it was who survived on Saturday and Sunday as well. So, because of the delays and that kind of thing. So, let's discuss the players. It seemed a little down to me this year for some reason. And this is the 5th major. If there was a thing.
I got so many opinions on it and why that is, and we'll talk about one of them in just a little bit. But, yeah, you just couldn't really get – I don't know. It didn't really pique my interest like it typically does. The leaderboard was kind of, no disrespect to anybody, but, I mean, you had J.J. Spawn, who's come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Tom Hoagie, who we love. Ashke Bataille, Lucas Glover, who lab golf putters have revived his whole career. Danny Walker. I mean, just Corey Connors, Bud Cauley. I like Bud Cauley.
I do too.
But no
Bammer.
No real superstar firepower up there. Those guys, kind of wilted. JT wilted.
But JT's his was weird because Thursday was okay round. Friday
Scheffler was a non-factor.
Yeah, Scheffler was a non-factor. But JT, okay first round. I think he's right around even. And then second round just had a meltdown. I mean, goes 4 over on the last 2 holes, or maybe 5 over on the last 2 holes, to kind of shoot himself out of it. And in order to make that was first.
Oh, it was vice versa because he almost broke the course record the second round.
Well, he tied the course record with Hoagie. And so you really thought Saturday was going to be a turning point for him, and it was just kind of a ho-hum Saturday. But, I mean, conditions, it was real windy. Weather was coming in, which we saw affected everybody on Sunday. So I was kind of hoping JT would, I don't know. I was kind of pulling for him after his Friday round. I thought, man, if you can just back up a 61 with, let's just say, a 66 or a 67, you're in this thing. Like you're gonna make a run on Sunday,
especially with the way Saturday played.
Yeah, and so he wasn't able to do that. But it's the course still is gorgeous. The weather was atrocious, and you didn't know what to expect. Scheffler still I think getting his feet under him from his hand injury, whatever that was. They keep saying he cut it on a wine glass, whatever. Something else happened. Give me a different Tiger story than that. And so
he beat up a cop.
Don't. That'd be the next rumor that goes around. But I will say this: the more and more I watch the players, the more and more, even though Spawn ended up shooting himself in the foot, 17. Quit overthinking 17.
It's hard not to with the weather conditions, but yeah, and 17 played a huge factor today in the playoff. So Rory goes, they tie it. He had a 4-foot putt for par to kind of tie JJ Ty JJ go and carry this thing into Monday into the 3-hole aggregate playoff, which just totally sucks, by the way. I mean, do sudden death. Don't do aggregate playoff, because it was pretty clear it was over after the second hole, and we had to continue to watch like total anti-climactic ending to a playoff. But yeah, so Rory goes out in the playoff. He birdies 16. JJ almost rinses it on 16, which, by the way, 16, 17, and 18, if you're going to do a 3-hole aggregate, that's a pretty dope 3-hole aggregate.
I will give that. Yes.
That is a pretty strong finishing 3 holes. And then they go to 17, and Rory 3-putts 17 for bogey, but JJ rinsed it. He hit it long, didn't even touch anything, flew the whole thing. Wind was just roaring, by the way. And it was roaring downwind. And then they go to 18, and Rory, I think JJ may have just picked up or something. I don't know. He doesn't even have a score recorded for 18, but Rory bogeys 18. So he won the 3-hole aggregate playoff at 1 over. It was just sort of, again, anticlimactic, but good for Rory. That's a big one. His back. Yeah, it's a big tournament. It's a big win. That's a big win. I mean, that's a big tournament, regardless of the leaderboard. The best of the best were in it. I mean, but they just didn't rise to the top, I guess.
Let me ask you this. This was brought up. You had some family duties that you were attending to, so you didn't get to see all of it. But I think it was Saturday. JJ gets relief.
Oh, I heard about this.
So let me ask you your opinion on this. JJ gets relief. He's standing on a sprinkler head. You're supposed to get relief.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets ready to take relief, he drops on the sprinkler head. So he can get re-relief.
Genius.
And then apparently he gets to basically drop in the fairway, because that's within the 2-club limit of being able to do. Now, I, for one, you can hate the rule. I don't hate the player for taking advantage of the rule.
No.
Because Kyle knows if there's anybody that will take advantage of any rule, it is me, including when we do scenarios. If they don't mention something, I use it. And,
for sure.
And so this was what I would do. I would be like, oh, so I can drop again, and then I can be in the fairway?
I'm looking for every sprinkler head I can find.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, is there another sprinkler head in the fairway? Maybe I can actually be in the center of the fairway before it's all said and done with. Maybe I can go use Patia's long putter and use that to get my club link so I can go even further out there. And that's the thing, is you can hate the rule. And maybe they need to change the rule that you can't improve your lie to a fairway from the rough, or because they wouldn't let you drop out of a bunker if you're in a hazard. You still would have to drop in the bunker if there was something that allowed you to do so. But what's your feelings on that? Do you hate the rule? Do you hate what he did? Do you think he's a cheat? Everybody, I mean, there were people calling him a cheater. I'm like, he literally followed the rules.
You get so screwed. Look, you get so screwed by golf rules, like so often. Like I could not care less if someone finds a way to bend the rule, or not even bend the rule, just follow the letter of the rule and get a break. I mean, how often do you get a break from a golf rule? It's very few and far between. So good on him. I mean, he went from the rough to the fairway.
Yeah.
And I think he birdied the hole. I think he hit it up there pretty tight.
He did.
So it's I have no issue with it. Now, if you break a rule, that's a whole nother thing. But I mean, he didn't do anything wrong.
This isn't a few years ago, the embedded ball that Patrick, Fat Prick Reed.
I mean, this isn't the insert rule broken.
Yeah.
Patrick Reed. This
is he literally followed the rule. I mean, everybody that was getting mad at him for doing that, I need that same energy when a guy has to hit out of a divot in the fairway. You should never be penalized for being in the fairway.
Yeah.
And yet they have to play it as it lies.
Hit off a root.
Exactly.
Or you accidentally step on a piece of pine straw and it makes your ball move. And then now that's you caused your ball to move. So that's a 1-stroke penalty. Like junk like that. You get screwed by rules all the time. I don't have any problem. Hey, don't think I haven't wrote this down. I'm trying to figure. I'm looking at all angles. If I'm in a bad lie, I'm looking at everything I possibly can stand on. I may get a longer drive. I may get like a 50-inch driver. What's the longest driver you can have?
Oh man, I don't know. It's the one that is just as legal in a long drive competition. You see how
I may
long
get
those dang things
I may
are.
get the longest one that's not even a playable club, and that's just for my stroking whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get the distance, your
Yeah,
club distance,
your two club
your club links.
relief.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I guess my question was when everybody kept complaining about it, I was like, okay, so who came up with the idea of doing this? Was it him or his caddy? Because usually the caddies are the ones that are like, hey, if we do this, we can do this. Because a lot of times you'll hear the conversation taking place, and usually the player will ask the official and his caddy, what are my options? But they didn't have him mic'd up during this time, or they didn't have one of the boom mics over there to listen to him. But I'm curious if he said, what are my options? And the caddy was like, if you drop it on top of that sprinkler head, we get another 2 club length from there. And as long as it's no closer to the hole, we can be in the fairway. So if the caddy knew that rule, good for him. Otherwise, if the PGA professional suggested it to him, then be mad at the PGA Tour professional. Don't be mad at the guy that's playing. So
no, I don't have any issues with it. I don't have any issues with that whatsoever.
I mean, this is not the same thing as because you and I talked about this last year. What was the PGA where Rory took a drop, so he wasn't standing in the bunker anymore? He basically was standing outside the bunker then, and he got to move from like the long rough to the short rough, and he got up and down for par, and everybody was like, "Oh, he cheated." And it's like, no, he took advantage of the rule. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. If somebody's following the rules, I don't understand what you get mad at. So good for JJ. I hate that he didn't win. I kind of was looking forward to it because he's talked about how much his game sucked as of late, and now he's in contention to win this and puts it in the drink on the playoff and kind of
where did he come from? I mean, he just kind of came out of he was around for a while and he was playing good. He's 34 years old. And then he just I feel like he was just disappeared for a while.
He did. And then end of the year last year, he came on and started like competing again and started being in contention, at least like some top 10s at the end of last year. So I guess that's transitioned this year. Maybe that's a good omen for him this year. I like him.
Yeah.
Seems like a good dude.
Likeable guy.
He's got kind of the dad bod going for him. So we always appreciate that. When a dad bod guy is doing well, we appreciate that.
No joke. You want to talk about the Rory incident?
Yeah, we can talk about the Rory incident.
Set it up because I know you got an opinion on it, and then I'll weigh in.
So, Rory, was this the practice round? It was a practice round that it took place. I forgot if it was Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, there was a kid. I say a kid in his early 20s. Turns out that he's a player for the Texas Longhorns. He's a collegiate player. Rory tees off and hits the ball in the water on a practice round. And the guy shouts out, yeah, that's just like, I don't know what year it was.
2011.
Was it? 2011. Rory didn't say anything. He walks over. He grabs the guy's phone and then walks off. And I'm sitting there thinking, even the kid was shocked. The kid was like, what is he doing? And then he didn't say anything to him. He just walked off. 2 things that I didn't like. Number 1, that's theft, brother. You can't do that. That was on his person. I may consider pressing charges if I'm him. He's not going to do it because he's trying to make his way onto the tour at some point, so that's not going to happen. But that's theft. Number 2, don't wuss out.
The phone was eventually returned. So
it was, but don't wuss out and not address it when asked about it at the end. Because that was one thing that Rory would not do. He would not address it. I had a big problem with that. Number 3, hey kid from Texas, be a little smarter. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna put him on a pedestal saying he was in the right here because I think both were in the wrong. Yeah, I think both of them had very douchey things to do. Yeah. Him yelling that and Rory going and taking his phone.
Look, this isn't
also I wish he had a better demeanor about himself. I wish there would have been some in your face, like jawing back and forth. Like I'm holding Rory to task right there. I'm like, what the F are you doing? Come back here. Next time don't hit it in the water, jerk.
No. Here's my thing. First of all, I have no problem with what Rory did. I wish he would have thrown his phone in the water. I wish he would have grabbed it and threw it in the water.
I would have more respect from that than just taking it from him like a 2-year-old and then giving it back to him later.
Why did he give it to him? Why did he give him his phone? Like he didn't. It wasn't like he snatched it from him. He was just like, "Hey, let me." He just like calmly.
I know he did.
It,
he let him have it.
He just let him have it. So, like to me, that's on Luke. Luke Potter, you're kind of a douche. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out. I know you say you learned your lesson and whatever. Why are you at a professional golf tournament to heckle? Like that. You deserve to go to jail. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You should go to prison over that. Like that is absurd.
Like real prison or like dad bod prison?
No, prison like Rikers Island. Like get out of here. You don't even deserve to play golf. Like that is I can't think of a more douchebag thing to do than heckle golfers. Like it makes no, like you're going to go out there and beat him or something like that because you play college golf at Texas. I don't care what happened to his phone. Honestly, I wish Rory would have taken it, thrown it into the lake, and then maybe handed him, $500 or something like that, and said, "Go get you another phone." I don't have any problem with what Rory did. It does kind of come off a little bit soft, but at the same time, like it's extreme. You're kind of you're more than likely ruining the experience for everybody around you. Nobody was around the kid. Like that's another thing. He was standing there by himself. So people
he had a teammate with him.
People were probably just wanting to leave the area because this guy's being, just an unbearable douchebag. I was kind of glad he got put in his place. I mean, you're a collegiate golfer. You should have a little bit more respect for what's going on. And I can't believe I'm like, old man, get off my lawn here on this one. But I don't know. I don't have as big of a problem with what Rory did as some people do. He got his phone back. Who cares?
I have an issue with it because good teaching moment for a pro to a collegiate kid. Undress his ass right there in front of everybody. Like, you got to be better than that. I think that's why Rory didn't address it. I think Rory knew who he was. I think he knew at least he was a collegiate golfer. He may not have known his name, but he probably knew that 2 Texas collegiate golfers were following him around because they were really close. And I think Rory knew who he was, and that's why he didn't make a scene. I wish he would have made a scene and like undressed him right there. Like, you got to be better than this. What are you doing? Like, we could be peers. And in 2 years, we could be peers on this tour together. And this is you out here. Like, you got nothing better to do than make this happen. Now, kudos to the fan that was on 18 when Rory teed off and said, "Give me my phone back." I thought that was fantastic.
No, that's free game.
That's free game. I thought that was fantastic.
Well, it's like the guy cheering for Justin Thomas's ball to go in the bunker a couple of years ago. Like, go home.
Yeah.
Don't go home. Listen, you get one tournament a year to do that. You get the waste management. Other than that, like, cheer, hoop, and holler and stuff like that, and go crazy over good shots. But like heckling, like Bob, I think about Bob Does Sports. He started that whole Instagram, TikTok heckling thing, but it was positive. You know what I mean? Like he was being funny and getting the guys to laugh. That's one thing. Just being, that looked like 2011 at the Masters. Like, what a douche thing to say.
Yeah.
I probably would have taken his phone if I would have been around him, because he was probably recording it. You know what I mean? That's probably why he took his phone. It's a TikTok or a Snapchat to say, "Look how cool I am. I'm telling Rory he sucks at golf."
Yeah.
The guy that ends up winning the tournament. I don't know.
Yeah,
call me an old man.
Be internet famous. Now, I will say this. I don't know how good of a Texas golfer he is. That coach had the opportunity to have a real teaching moment and be like, "You need to find a place to transfer."
I bet. There's going to be if that coach is worth his salt, there's going to be some ramifications. For that.
There's just too much history in the Texas or like University of Texas golf room. Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth. Just to name a couple. Like, I wonder if those guys reach out to that head coach and go, you find another place for it. Like, I got to work with this guy. I got to work with Rory on a weekly basis and be in a locker room with him. Like we don't need that representing the University of Texas golf team. I mean, Kyle, how upset would you be if that's Jackson Coiven?
Oh, I'm pissed.
I mean, that's the thing. If I'm a Texas fan, I'm pissed that he got named as a Texas golfer.
And it's been like plastered everywhere.
Everywhere.
His name, Texas golfer. That everywhere. It's up there.
At first, the first release that came out, the coach wouldn't say his name, and I was like, "Well, they're going to figure. Like, you might as well call him out. They're going to figure it out." And sure enough, within the next 30 minutes, his name was everywhere. So, as a matter of fact, I think the coach made it worse by addressing it right away because there were other media that were like, "Oh, he's a Texas golfer. Let's go find out who he is." So it almost made it worse that they tried to get out in front of it. So yeah, if that's Baca for Auburn, I'm like, bro, what are we doing right now? Like, don't do that. Like, leave that.
I'm gonna call him a DA up at the AU club. If I see him, I'm like, you're a DA. What are you thinking?
Leave that to the drunks in the crowd. Don't do that as a collegiate golfer.
Yeah.
Now, when Texas needs something from the PGA Tour, Rory carries a lot of weight. Just saying.
Yep. So only gripe I have with Rory is that he did not throw it in the water. Should have done
my gripe is
or taking a picture of his butt and sent it and said that's what you get.
Yeah. Kiss this when you go back to Texas. How about that? I just wish he would have undressed him. Hey, speaking of which, we'll wrap up here is golf game right now. Mine's non-existent. Last time I played, mid to upper 80s. I just don't even want to get into it. Because the bad part is I told Kyle last time, it's so frustrating because I literally am hitting 17 and a half fairways.
14 and a half or 13 and a half around.
13 and a half around, and I got absolutely nothing to show for it. I'm still shooting in the mid 80s to low 90s. And so, and the bad part is the putter's not the problem. I think I had 1 3-putt last round. That was it. And so I have got to find something with my irons and now, if there's a positive, I'm flying green, so I'm hitting it solid.
That's good.
But then when I play it to the number, I do something stupid like chunk it and put myself in a bad spot, or, all of a sudden there's a hook that comes out of my game, which Kyle can tell you is not a part of my repertoire. I don't know what that's all about.
Those aren't planned.
No. So when that happens, I'm sitting there going, I have no. Felt like Billy Horschel when they interviewed Billy Horschel, and
get me to the house.
That's what he said. Kara was interviewing him, walking down, and she goes, "So other than that, what do you think of your game?" He goes, "I am ready to go home right now."
Yeah. I have no idea if it's going left or right. I'm just trying to get to the house as quick as possible.
Exactly.
So, I've been there. My game's probably similar right now. I'm not playing a bunch of rounds, but I'm sort of making a turn as far as feeling like my old self again a little bit, able to, get it out there. But I'm able to. I'm able to find it. I played recently, and believe it or not, Ben, I hit 11 fairways. And fairways for me are, I don't count like directly into the short grass. Like if to me, if it's advanced, like it's a clear advance, I'm not hitting a punch shot to the green. Right. I had 11 advanceable shots to the green. I'm not hitting greens right now. My wedge game's a little bit sketchy. Putting's great. Rolling that new Scotty really good. Had I think the last time I played, I had under 30 putts. I had 13 putts on the front, I know. So I had 5 1-putts on the front, and then I'm shipping really good too. So it's springtime. It's about to be, some good tournaments heading into the summer. I got the itch, ready to start playing.
I know. We're looking forward to it. So
we'll get out there soon and report back.
We're going to start doing more of this throughout the week. We'd love for you guys to hang out with us, be with us. Hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, by the way. We need those to come up as much as possible as well. And hopefully we've got some new sponsors going to be dropping here sometime soon. So see if we can get you guys some discount codes and things such as that to get you going. So Dad Bod Golf Pod, where Kyle, you know what we're always doing?
Always stroking.